Hello, hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming in, hanging out with us. My name is One Up Life. We are live here on the front page of Mixer. Thanks again for everybody tuning in. We are doing a live developer interview for the folks over there at 1047 Games. I have with me Ian, aka Cardinal Soldier, ready to lock and load. We're playing Splitgate today. We're going to be showcasing some of the new stuff coming out and the latest build available. So let's go ahead and introduce yourself there, Ian.
Hey guys, Ian Prue here, CEO and co-founder of Splitgate Arena Warfare.
Yes.
Yeah. So also one of the developers, and yeah.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So we're just going to do quick Q&As here, man. Then we'll get into some of the stuff in the game. We want to know more about you, you as a developer, where you started out. So first question, what was the first game that you started playing?
First game I ever played was... well, so my first system was Nintendo 64, and played a lot of Zelda and Super Smash Bros. And GoldenEye. But I would say really the first game where I got really into gaming as sort of a hardcore hobby was Halo 2. And that was, I want to say, in like 6th grade for me. And man, did I play a lot of that game.
Yeah, so did you guys get into LAN parties like we did back in the day?
A little bit. So I got into LAN parties during like Halo 1. I didn't have an Xbox actually during Halo 1, but I would, play over at friends' houses. But Halo 2 was all about, Xbox Live. That was sort of the first time that was a thing.
True.
So,
True. Yeah, that's when Xbox Live really hit the top right there when it came out with Halo 2. Everybody was on that for sure. So,
yeah.
But I remember those good old days. LAN parties, man. Oh, we'd have like 10 or 5 Xboxes in one house, and we'd have TVs in every room. It was something to be seen. So, all right. So that goes along with our next question here. What is? I think you might have answered this though. But what's your favorite game?
I mean, my favorite game is my own game, to be totally honest.
Conceded.
Like I know it's easy to say that, but I am making the game that I want to play, which is basically my two favorite games put together, right? It's sort of a combination of old school Halo mixed with Portal, and then a little bit faster paced because, yeah. So a little bit of a UT vibe there too. But I mean, I love my game. I love working on it. But other than that, I would say Halo 2, definitely.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I could agree with you in that aspect because Halo 2 was the launch into the first-person shooter genre that really took over for me, and then from there it was just boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so that's safe to say. What got you into the gaming industry, like the game development industry? How did you get involved in that?
I mean, my whole life I had such a passion for gaming that I knew it was always kind of in the back of my head that I might want to do that at some point. And then when I went to school and sort of was trying to decide my major, I was considering computer science. That was definitely one of them. And I took a class, absolutely loved it. One of the first projects we did in that class was make the game Breakout, the Brick Breaker game.
Yes.
So pretty much like first quarter of freshman year, I was like, man, making games is so fun and so rewarding. And then, yeah, I mean, I took a class again and I convinced my my advisor to let me do an independent study where I could basically learn this stuff on my own because there wasn't really like a gaming department at Stanford. So did that, just absolutely loved it. And yeah, basically decided, let's do this for real.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty legit. So this kind of leads up into our next question. For those that are out there in chat that might be interested in the development side of gaming, what would be their best foot in the door, in your opinion?
I mean, I guess I would say it sort of depends on where you are in life. Like if you're at college, take a class if you can. But if you aren't, or if you just kind of want to learn for fun, there are a lot of resources out there, like Udemy.com and Code Academy. I mean, really, Udemy. There's like you can learn anything. If you want to take a class on Unreal Engine or Unity Engine, or if you want to be a 3D artist and take a class on like Maya or Blender, there's everything you could learn is out there, and it's really good. So if you're trying to get into the games industry, I would start with that.
Nice. Are those you mentioned those are courses online or
Yeah, it's called udemy.com. Udemy.
UDEMY?
Yeah, we actually that was one of the things I did when I first started learning Unreal Engine is I found a course on that because Stanford didn't have anything. So yeah, I just took that class and I was like, okay, I now have sort of a basic understanding. I can now, coupled with knowing being a programmer, I can sort of take this in a much more advanced direction.
Okay. Well, alrighty. Well, we sure appreciate that info, man. Thank you so much. We're obviously here to talk about Splitgate, a new game coming out for you guys in what late April, I think. Is that
Haven't settled on a date yet, but we're thinking, around that sort of April May timeframe. Yeah,
okay? Okay.
so just Q2. Yeah.
How long has this been in the works? How long has it been cooking?
Uh, yeah, we started 2 years ago. So actually, yeah, January of 2017 was when we first started. Um, yeah.
Okay, so all right, so paint us the picture, man. You guys were sitting around, or you were by yourself. You had a dream. How did this come to you? Just
Yeah, I mean, so I had this idea probably, I don't know, 7 years ago, or whenever I played Portal 2, I had this idea of like, man, I would love to, have guns in this, basically, right? Like, I love Portal, and I just sort of had this vision of like, what if an enemy was over there and I shot a portal behind them, and now I snuck up on them and shot them in the back? Or if I spawned, instead of spawning a portal under a cube, I spawned it under that guy's feet.
yes,
Um, so then when I started learning, so I've had this idea forever, basically. And then when I started learning Unreal Engine, that was sort of like the demo project that I wanted to make. Um, and so in sort of a 10-week project, I made this really rough, and this was probably 4 years ago or 5 years ago. I made this rough, concept of a game. Basically, it was just like one gun. You couldn't actually see through the portals or anything. It was just like you touch a portal and instantly you teleport to the other one. But that already there in its very early rough stages was like, man, this actually fundamentally changes how I think about and how I play a first person shooter. And that was something that was really fun and just totally unique. So then a few years later, or a couple years later, I was basically just trying to figure out what I want to do with my life. I was a grad student, and my good friend Nick, who's my co-founder now, we were sort of trying to figure out, do we want to go work for big companies? Do we want to go make this video game? What do we want to do? And so we ultimately started working on this while I was getting my master's and he was finishing his senior year. We basically started on this, and then yeah, obviously it's evolved a ton.
yeah, yeah, I would say so. So from touching a portal and appearing to actually going through them and shooting people through them, I mean, I'm sold on this game, man. Portal with guns introduced into the PvP genre.
Yeah,
you're speaking my language.
totally.
I've been enjoying this game for the last few months that I've been involved in it and playing the playtest and getting to play some of that. I'm terrible at mouse and keyboard, but once I found out that you could use the controller, I was all in. So, yeah, I mean, so PvP has been, a certain way. You've had different aspects of it. You've had air battle, you've had ground battle, you've had, a different kind. This would be one of the first that split time and space between in a PvP battle. So, the whole aspect of that really, really interests me as well. So,
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think teleporters in gaming has been fun forever, right? You look at like Halo or Quake, and they have these sort of preset teleporters.
yeah.
But that's just barely touching on, that's just scratching the surface. So, and now when you have sort of this actual portal mechanic that you can seamlessly go back and forth, you can see through it, and you can basically control where it is. It really takes that concept to a new level.
Awesome. Yes. All right. So, well, we won't we won't waste a whole lot more of the time. We're gonna go in and we're gonna get some checking out of this game, man. So let's go ahead and switch over to the screen here. Boom, here we go. We're on the menu screen. This is the newest build right here. This is the latest menu, correct?
This is the latest. Yeah.
Play now, host, customs. So you can host your own custom game. To what level custom game? What pieces can you control?
Right now, just you can basically control like the weapons and if you want pickups and what game mode you want. And obviously the map. But that's something that probably in the next update we're going to actually add a lot of crazy modifiers. You know, I was a big fan of Halo 3 custom game days. So you can expect to see, you know, low gravity, unlimited jetpack, you know, speed modifiers, health modifiers, all sorts of crazy modifiers that we want to just basically to, you know, we've got the competitive side nailed, but we want to really get that sort of casual, just, you know, maybe you feel like messing around. Well,
okay, all right. So you and some friends. So someone in the chat had asked if this game is free to play. Now, right now it's in alpha, so people can play it if they have alpha access. But when it comes out, it will not be free to play. Correct?
Correct. Yeah, we're thinking between $20 and $30,
Okay.
but still haven't settled on a final price yet.
Okay, all right. So let's see here. Okay, so let's go into will there be tournaments for this game?
There's actually a tournament happening tomorrow.
Well, that answers your question.
Yeah, I mean we're not trying to focus on esports too much right now. I think no, from our point of view, I think a lot of games do that too early. Actually, somebody in my chat just mentioned Islands of Nine focusing too heavily on it too early, and we have very closely studied a lot of those games, and that's not the mistake we want to make. So we do want to make a game that is easy to learn, difficult to master, fun for everybody, and basically, you know, if we can have a good launch, we know that we have sort of the pillars that are necessary and the pieces that are necessary to make a competitive game, and ultimately make an esport. But for now, we don't want to focus on that too early.
Okay. Well, someone in our chat did mention that they are actually their staff member and they are the esports leader for Mixer. So if you guys are getting interested into introducing that into esports, looks like we have somebody who's willing to help you.
Awesome.
So awesome. Thank you so much, Linux.
Love it.
Absolutely. So right now I am in a customization screen. So to what? Okay, so we got some different helmets here. Pretty sweet.
Yeah. So yeah, this basically we have the customization system built out, but we don't yet have all of the other stuff. So ultimately what we're going to have is some sort of combination of like progression where you're unlocking certain items through challenges, and then also, you know, some sort of whether it's someone says, can I turn down the game audio? Yeah, I'll do that.
I will, Linux. I absolutely will.
No, I think he's talking to me, not you. There we go. Anyway, yeah, so we're going to have some skins that are unlocked randomly and some that are unlocked basically via challenges.
Okay.
You can, you know, get 10 headshots with this gun or etc.
So that's how you unlock things is with challenges, correct?
Yeah, it'll be a combination.
Okay.
So you'll get something every time you level up as well.
So, all right. So I heard these developers get access to some cool stuff, man. I got you on the front page here. Show us some of this cool stuff. What you got?
All right. Well, I have all the gun skins so far, and we're gonna have a lot more. But so basically, for every gun, we have I think just 10 or so. Can't count right now, but
okay.
So here, and then for every gun, now let's see. I think the railgun's probably my favorite gun. It's the new one, and basically kind of envision like a Spartan laser from Halo 3, where it's a charge up one shot.
Yeah. You had me at Spartan laser, man. Let's go.
So, yeah, just a lot of cool skins and a lot more to come.
So what's your skill level at this? You pretty solid?
I'm pretty damn good.
Wow.
My aim is not spectacular. I've got pretty. I would say my aim is like above average, but it's not like godlike by any means. But my portaling ability is where I'm.
Is where you succeed.
Really
Sometimes I'll get to where I'm going in momentum and I'll shoot the wrong portal, so it doesn't work out for me. Or I'll just get shot in the back. That's cool too. We'll do that. Here, let's showcase you for a little bit. You show off.
All right.
Watch him rock the house, chat. I'm gonna pretend to do good things over here. Ooh, shoot a portal there. Watch me pull off a solid kill while I'm on you. It's gonna be dope.
We'll act like we didn't plan that.
Yeah, it's fine. I got a sniper too.
Alright, I'm not gonna make your chat watch me sit around waiting for the rocket.
Oh. Am I healthy? Oh, I just got roasted again. Woo! See, that's I love that, dude. That portal jump you just did, that's what makes this game awesome. Right there.
Yeah.
I seen it. I seen it with my own 2 eyes. It was glorious. You basically flew across the entire map and just murdered that dude with an SMG. It was beautimous. I'm trying to get my bearings on portal. Ooh, see that? I love that. That little... Is that what you're doing to get across the map? There's that little position on the far end of the map that has, like, it's angled?
I do that when I jump off the map, yeah. So, if I, like, go down to the bottom of the map, I'll do that.
Well, I failed. I failed. Oh, man, I totally missed that. Period. Just super missed that.
It's all good. It takes a little bit of getting used to.
It really does. Like, the portal aspect adds a different kind of difficulty / skill level, man. Like, keeping up with what was the last color portal you dropped. What's your method of keeping up of which portal that you last left off with, so you know which one to shoot next?
I think my method is I pretty consistently will spawn Q and then E.
Ah, okay.
So, a lot of times, even if I already have it spawned, just out of habit, I'm gonna like hit it again. Just so I don't know. I think it's just a habit. I don't know if that's the best strategy, but it works for me.
Where do you start with developing a level like this?
Yeah, so a lot of times we'll start with inspiration game, or at least like for a specific part of a map. Maybe it's not the entire map. Maybe it's just like one room, and yeah. I mean, honestly, it's just a lot of trial and error. Like the first map we ever made was Outpost, and it went through a ton of iterations. Because we didn't really know what we were doing, right? It was like, we're making a FPS with portals. Like, how does that work? And we kind of figured out, what was fun, what wasn't fun, what worked well. And so that map, took a long time. But once we sort of got that down, it got easier and easier every time. So.
Okay. So there's usually a little bit of a template, Sana, just a starting point.
Yeah, I mean, I'll normally, even if it's just like one room, I'll try to, just so I can get kind of my mind thinking, I'll try to start with like for I'm trying to think of a good example. Like this map Dorado, for example, it's nothing like the map Ascension. Like whatsoever, but the center room kind of is similar to the map Ascension in just sort of its layout, and I don't know, that was sort of enough to get my mind, just get me going, even though it ended up being nothing like that map.
So I have to ask, on the first build of this game, did you guys have every surface able to put a portal on it?
No, we never did that. I think pretty early on we were like pretty confident that that would not work well.
Yeah, that would be insanity.
Yeah, it would just be total chaos, and it wouldn't really allow for like variety in different rooms. That's another thing that we try to think about when we're making maps. Just a friend of mine who did level design at EA, some of the advice he gave us was like, you want to make sure that every map has a lot of like different sized rooms. So, for example, like you might want to have a map that has big rooms, small rooms, open rooms, like tiny corridors, narrow hallways, just to get a lot of variety. And so we sort of applied that exact same logic to how we use portals. So just, for a given room, right, it's going to play totally differently if there's portal walls on all 4 walls, or if there's a portal wall on the ceiling, or if it's a really tiny portal wall where there's only room for 1 portal versus a giant one where there's a room for a lot of portals, right? So that's something we try to basically get a fine balance of. Yeah.
Miss Cutie Pie, we actually got an answer to that earlier. They are really pushing towards getting it on console by the end of the year. That's their goal. So, pretty exciting stuff right there.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up, but I think we could do it. I mean, I think, if you look at other games, like PUBG, for example, launched in, I think did they launch in March, maybe, or April, when they first came into early access and then made it in time for Christmas for Xbox?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, ideally we do something similar. We won't be able to launch in March, but we launch like Q2. Hopefully that gives us enough time, and if the game sells well, we'll be able to hire some more people to. Yeah, I know. Somebody's like, PUBG was horrendous on console though. That's
yeah,
true, but PUBG was also horrendous on PC. So
to begin with,
I think from a technical standpoint, like we really pride ourselves on, making this game as rock solid as possible. That's why we're not doing early access. This game could easily, I feel like, be an early access game right now if we wanted it to, but that's not how we want to do things. We want to sell a game when it's actually done.
Yeah, see, so. I can appreciate that as just an all-around connoisseur of games, period. There's a lot of times where people are dropping games hoping that the pre-orders will give them money to, get more stuff done on the game instead of giving us a complete game when it comes out. So yeah. I can appreciate that, taking that time, taking the time to get a good game in, but releasing a bad game is bad forever, It's kind of hard to come back for that.
Exactly.
Let's see. After release, how long will the support will stay?
I mean,
I guess
forever.
I was about to say as long as the game goes.
Well, forever. If the game dies, then not very long. But I mean, my sort of vision, I guess, and our company vision of what our ideal outcome is we want to be the next Riot Games. We don't want to be the next EA. We want to basically make one game that we support forever, that we polish forever. Or the next CS:GO, really.
Yeah.
But obviously not like Valve, where we're, having a store and stuff. So. Absolutely,
I understand that. Let's see. Bossy Pumpkin says League of Legends allowed tournaments to get a tournament specially build of the game. Are you guys interested in doing that or looking to possibly get into that?
A tournament build of the game?
Yeah, I guess that's what he's saying. League of Legends allowed tournaments to get a tournament build of the game. My guess would be maybe possibly they had tailored some things to better fit the tournament aspect of the genre. That's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay, it allows LAN and you don't have to log in. So just a couple tweaks, I guess, to make it easier to use on a tournament basis.
Right. Yeah. So actually, well, I guess kind of, because we do have LAN support on a separate build for trade shows, basically. Because basically, if you go to one, PAX East or PAX South or whatever it is, they're going to charge you an arm and a leg for internet.
Yeah.
So that was one of the first things we did when we decided to go to trade shows. Like, let's implement LAN right now because we cannot afford to pay thousands of dollars for internet. Yeah.
I'll take this with a grain of salt. Someone asked, will there be a battle royale mode?
Probably not. I mean, I'm never gonna say never, but I don't think that would ever happen. What I would like to do, ultimately, post-launch, instead of a battle royale mode, I'd love to have like a big team battle sort of map pack that we release. So maybe like 3 maps that are much larger than the current ones, and it's 8 on 8.
Okay.
And maybe there's vehicles or something. I mean, this is all totally, don't like quote me on this. This is just stuff like as a gamer that I would like to add and I would like to play at some point. Yeah.
This is a pretty solid question that I might be interested in myself. Is there a story behind the game, like any kind of lore?
Mm-hmm. Very minimally. There's a if you go to our website, actually, we have like a section, and every map, I think it's actually called arenas, but every arena has a sort of like 3-sentence description of it that has a little bit about like the backstory of that map, as long as or as well as like sentence about how the map plays.
Okay.
But really, the sort of general backstory is we're not like at war. This is not some epic space battle. This is we're in the future, and these are futuristic gladiators that are fighting for sport.